Testing 1 2 3. Hello. Testing 1 2 3. Hi. Welcome to my first YouTube video of this kind. This is my first everywhere YouTube video, and I'm going to be talking about everywhere commerce, which is my book, and what it means, and how it's going to redefine what e-commerce is, and how this is a seminal moment and an important moment and a pivotal moment in history, because we finally realized where we are, so we can now work out where we're going. And everything in the world revolves around commerce. So this is it. Let's get into it. Right, I'm trying this again. I'm trying to film. I'm waiting on a cable for my Canon. I've got a Canon 5D Mark IV, which was kindly sponsored by Camera World, which I'm going to use for this podcast as soon as I get the right cable. In the meantime, I'm using the FaceTime HD camera on my phone on the flip side, and it keeps disconnecting, but we'll see. Anyway, I will talk a bit of randomness and waffle on a bit sometimes, so you'll have to excuse me because I like to do that. I'll try and edit some of that out too. Anyway, what I was saying was this YouTube channel is going to have 3 sections. So we're going to have Pivotal Moments, a Foundations podcast, where I'm going to be speaking to brand founders, so people who've come up with something completely on their own and scaled it, potentially still are in charge of it, or potentially they've exited and sold it, but the story of how they created it, the pitfalls, the pivotal moments, obviously, but more on a level which is kind of something where you might meet this person in the street and not realize who they are, but they're still an amazing person with an amazing story that you can learn from, that I'll be able to learn from. So I'm really interested in finding out brand owners and company founders' stories. So that's going to be the second branch of the podcast. So we'll have pivotal moments, foundations, and then this section where I'm going to talk about everywhere commerce, which is a redefinition of e-strategy. So it's basically e-commerce, but instead of the hyphen between the e and the commerce, it's an asterisk, which is a wildcard symbol, which represents anything. So the idea being that e-commerce no longer exists just on your website. It's in marketplaces, it's in your DMs, it's on your mobile devices, it's in store, it's with QR codes at a restaurant, it's through SMS, it's through near field communication or NFC, it's everywhere. So everywhere commerce is what E should stand for, in my opinion. And I've written a book. It's taken me a very long time to write the book. 9 years, in fact. But this is what it looks like. So everywhere commerce, a pivotal redefinition of E strategy. This is available for pre-order on the Pivotal website. So pivotal.digital/everywhere-commerce. It's available in hardback and in paperback. So this is the paperback. It's a 600 plus page tome filled with information. It's edition 1. Every time I get prototypes printed, I'm spotting new things to tweak and change. So it will be a living document. I'll be working on it for many years to come. And also I'm going to engage my team. I've got an amazing team downstairs of experts in all kinds of different fields of growth, acquisition, retention, logistics, warehousing, anything to do with e-commerce. We've got an expert downstairs who specializes in that area. So I'm going to get my team, who are individually more skilled than me in those little areas, to feed back and to improve on the various different sections within the book over time as trends change. But the key thing about the book, and the key thing about what I'm hopefully going to be covering in this section of this YouTube channel, which is everywhere commerce, or maybe I'll just call it everywhere, is that I'm going to be hopefully imparting wisdom rather than intelligence or information. Information changes on a daily basis, but the underlying principles always stay the same. And they're based on human behavior, and human behavior is based on how we've evolved to where we are, our defense mechanisms, how we protect ourselves, how we feed and nourish ourselves. And all of that is the underlying programming that then influences our behavior and our buying behavior in particular, which is, of course, how people create wealth within an organization. Money is the lifeblood of an organization. It keeps it going. It feeds it, and the staff then feed their families with it. So our economy is fueled by an understanding of human behavior. And people don't necessarily think that deep. They just think, I need to put this on sale and I need to get more sales right now and that will make me money. But thinking deeper, thinking about how people feel and are influenced long term by the things that they take in subconsciously, in adverts, in TV shows, in conversations with their friends, in interactions in store. Those are the things which drive our economy and influence buying behavior. So Everywhere Commerce is a long book and it covers USPs, so your unique selling proposition, how to build your brand, if you've already got a brand, how to double down on making it strong and build brand equity. It talks about business models, outsourcing. It talks about everything up until the stage of then going to have a platform, whether that be through a website, although everyone should have a website, or marketplaces, or wherever people can buy your product, even if it's wholesale through a distributor or through someone retailing your products. And you could exist without a website technically, and you could have a strong brand also in doing that. But the idea there is that the book will help steer that. And then acquisition. So acquisition is, when I refer to acquisition, there's a whole part of the book, and that's about bringing customers to your brand. So if, for example, you have a website and you're looking to drive traffic to it in order to generate sales, then acquisition is what you're looking to do, and that can come from all kinds of different things. So in the book and in this podcast, I'm going to cover various different ways to bring traffic to your site and to your marketplaces and to wherever it's possible to interact and engage with your brand, transact with your brand, and of course from that grow it and to build a relationship with your customer. And then on the subject of relationships, we have retention. So the third section of the book is about retention. I'll probably then split this Foundations is going to be the Founders podcast. I'll probably split this you have to excuse me, I'm going to edit this bit out. I'll probably then split apart the Everywhere Commerce YouTube videos that I make into the various different sections of the book as playlists. And then what I'll do is I'm going to build a learning library on Pivotal University. So there'll be plenty to learn here on the YouTube channel, and I'll get used to monologuing and I'll get used to describing the parts of the book and hopefully teaching. I'll also do screen shares and I'll show you living examples of some of the things that I recommend. And with permission, I'll show some of our clients kind of insights and information and how we interpret that to then make new decisions. And beyond that, and after the acquisition part of what I talk about, I will go into retention. Yes. So I'm going into retention after that. And then retention is about not just kind of once you've acquired the customer, you need to keep them and you need to keep that relationship going with them. And you need to make sure that they remember you when it comes to their second purchase and their third purchase. It's all well and good using marketing and branding to get the first purchase, but they don't know you that well. They just need something, and they tend to need it quite a lot in that first purchase. But in the second purchase, you've already had a handshake with them. They've already had their product delivered, hopefully on time, as expected, and they're happy with the product and the service, and they've come back for a second purchase. So those customers are the most valuable. That's how you gain market share. That's how you build your brand. That's how you build one relationship at a time with customers who will go and sing your praises behind your back, which is what you want, the ideal. So retention is huge. Obviously, you need to build a community around your brand and you need to keep it. There's no point in having an empty a bucket with a giant hole in it and pouring sand in it, because you'll just end up with a tube. So excuse my analogies, they're always a bit strange. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're weird. Anyway, so once we've gone through retention, the plan is to go through the next part of the book, which is about logistics and warehousing. So retention itself can be about communication. It can be about messaging. It can be about keeping in the mind of the customer, building loyalty, building a community where they can engage with each other. And through Everywhere Commerce, I'm going to go through, and this section of the YouTube channel, I'm going to go through that and explain how to do that with regards to communication and messaging. But another part of retention, and I guess reacquisition, is that handshake part, which is the logistics. It's how you get your product or even your service to a customer, or how you do your returns. It'll be how well you package your product. It'll be the unboxing experience. It'll be how friendly the delivery driver was when they delivered the product. It'll be a million things around that. Small nuanced things which will affect the overall perception of your brand at that final hurdle, because you can sell the most amazing product, the customer can have the most amazing experience up until the point where they receive the product, and if it's broken, bent, out of shape, doesn't perform as it should because the delivery driver threw it on your doorstep and didn't hand it to you gently and give you that kind of white glove experience, or perhaps it was damaged in the warehouse or the wrong item was delivered, that just completely ends that relationship generally. People won't come back, and that's devastating for a business if it happens over time, because that compounds. Good things compound and bad things compound, and you want to do more good things so that your compound effect overrides the compounding effect of bad things, which also inevitably happen at the same time. So it's a race, and you have to keep your eye on the goal, which is to provide the best possible user experience throughout the journey, end to end, in your customers everywhere commerce journey. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Tait. I'm the founder of Pivotal, which is a digital transformation agency specializing in growing e-commerce brands. And I've been doing this about 26 years in various forms. So Pivotal started in my loft. I'm in a loft now, but it's a different type of loft. In my bedroom it started before that even. It started when I was 14, and I built my first website for a Malibu-based air freshener company, which my dad sold in. And I then went in and I got one job after another. My dad kept recommending my services, and I was £1,000, £2,000 for a website. And I was doing a good job and kept getting word of mouth and referral. I built an e-commerce website at the age of 16 for a clothing label that I started because I wanted to be a skateboarder and I wasn't good enough. So I wanted to sponsor myself and my friends, and therefore created a brand called Dilate Clothing, which was my first company and my first brand. I built a website for it that transacted, not thinking that was going to be my direction. Instead, I thought the clothing label would be my direction. But all the learnings I made during that was my dipping my toe into what it was to start and scale a business and all of the headaches that come from it. So with the e-commerce site looking pretty nice, functioning quite nice, there was no platforms at the time. There was no Shopify. There was no Magento. There was no OzCommerce or Zencart or anything like that. It was literally just bear with me. Is that still working? Yeah. There was no big platforms out there at the time, so I had to build one myself. But that meant I was a first mover, and I had the first mover advantage, I guess, which is a really important factor. So I got lots of recommendations and built lots of websites for people from the age of 14 all the way through to 18, 19 when I was at university. And I put myself through university with web design, coding, web development, and then I did graphic design and photography for my degree, which meant I got to learn the front end to sort of work alongside the back end. I was still interested in photography, and I was trying to do every aspect and element of say what Pivotal does now, but I was wearing so many hats and didn't even realize they were multiple hats. I thought they were just one big hat, but there's lots and lots of different specialities I was trying to figure out all at once. So anyway, I then went to university and I carried on. I did 1 year of professional photography at a studio I set up in my city in Norwich. And then I got really bored of taking photos of thousands of shampoo bottles, and it was fine. I love the fact that I was working in the trade that I'd trained for, but I wanted to do reportage photography, photojournalism. I wanted to go out in war zones and take harrowing images of what was happening on the front lines and educate people back home as to what was happening. That was not going to happen. I wanted it to, but I also had so many other things happening too. I ended up becoming kind of a commercial photographer, doing weddings and that side of things. So it wasn't quite what I expected. And then I ended up doubling down on e-commerce websites, marketing off the back of that, and growing that side of things. and then the photography took a back seat. So after about a year, I then went straight back into web development and building what we now have as Pivotal. So Pivotal is a 7-figure e-commerce digital transformation brand agency. Pivotal is a 7-figure e-commerce digital transformation agency, and it's evolved from iterative website development through to marketing and problem solving for business owners. My favorite thing to do is to meet founders, meet people who have either started and scaled a business or have taken it from one place to a much bigger, grander place, and to understand what they've done, to have a coffee with them, to build a relationship with them. That might be you as well, by the way. This is my target audience, so you are my people. And have a coffee and just get to know what that journey looked like, because I've been through that, and I'll talk about that in some later videos. Along my journey, I started, scaled, and sold a biggest of its kind, biggest in the world e-commerce brand, which I'll tell you all about at some point. So I have that experience too, as well as agency experience, as well as building websites, marketing. I also have been the customer of an agency. I've had a large retail brand selling thousands and thousands of SKUs and making very good money, and then having to deal with all the headaches of a retail brand would have to deal with. And then we went into more brand side, OEM and manufacture, and then I had all those headaches too, and then we sold it. So I'm now 100% focused on the agency, creating content to grow and build and promote and educate my community, which is you. And here I am trying to put together some content. So this is my first YouTube video of this kind. As I said in the beginning, I'm new to this format. I way prefer to speak and engage with somebody, but apparently I can talk and talk. I didn't know if I would be able to talk for 20 minutes straight. It wasn't supposed to be 20 minutes. It just became 20 minutes. So I'll go into more detail about some of my history and how I got to where I am now. I think some agency owners will find it really useful, or agency founders or people looking to start off in marketing will find it useful to hear more about some of the early days and some of the things I had to do to get to where I am, because it's not a straight path. And actually, until you know what something's called, you might be doing it anyway, and it's just what you think is part of it, but there's a specialism there and you're honing it. Or perhaps it's best to specialize somewhere else and get someone else to help you with that aspect of what you're doing. I'll hopefully be able to help you out with that kind of thing too, because I've learned the hard way so many times, and I don't want you to have to learn the hard way too. If I can help you with that, that's one of the big goals of this. I want to empower. I want to take you from here to here and then beyond. I want to educate. I want to leave a legacy. I want you to read the book. This one, e-commerce, the new e-commerce, everywhere commerce. I want you to take it all in. I want you to grow your business and your brand. Or if you're a marketer or an agency owner, I want you to take some of those learnings and use those learnings to help grow your brand or your client's brand. And I want to be here for you. I want you to know that someone's got your back. You're not alone, because founders, business owners, agency owners are the same. They're business owners. It can be quite lonely, especially when you have a team of people who aren't as crazy as you are, and they don't understand the pitfalls, the hard times, the weird times, the up times too. It's amazing. That's why we're here. But there is a community of people out there who have been through similar, who are going through similar, or who will go through similar. And hopefully through this medium, I'll be able to bring us all together, offer advice, and share wisdom. Because like I said in the beginning, that underlying information is key to making decisions. There is no set answer to anything. It's just understanding why you might want to answer something in a particular way, and then using the wisdom to make the decision that's relevant for that moment at that precise time in that location for that scenario. And they're different. So wisdom, that's what this channel is about. Anyway, thank you. I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to bring out a video, if I can, every Tuesday and every Thursday. So I go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Tuesday and Thursday are for my mental muscles, and I'm going to get better at YouTube. I hope, I promise, I will try. And so you can look forward to content, hopefully, with more specifics than this video. This is more of an introduction video. Every Tuesday and every Thursday, I'll do my best. If it doesn't come out on a Tuesday or a Thursday, I'm away for business or I'm engaged with something else. So we'll skip it and I'll keep going, and then I'll keep aiming to deliver on Tuesday and Thursday as often as possible. So it's Thursday now. I'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks.